I'm Milton Ali, and I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Kentucky. Today, we're going to talk about the top 10 first-time home buyer mistakes, how to avoid them, and I got tips for first-time home buyers. Let's begin. And the number one thing that, now this is not in any particular order, but this is the first one that I'm going to list. The first mistake most buyers make is seeing homes before they're financially qualified, or what we call pre-qualification or pre-approved for a loan. One of the things that I see is that when we're talking with a buyer and we're going and you're looking at homes, you very well may be looking at homes that are not in the right price range. And you may feel comfortable in one price range, but yet you're looking at another and you may or may not like what you see. If you are going around and you're looking at homes, and let's say that the price point you're looking in is in 400 and you like everything you see, yet you speak to a lender and your budget is capped at around 300, then that can lead to some disappointment. And so to avoid that, what I encourage all of my first-time home buyers to do, and even second-time home buyers, is to get pre-approved. It's a conversation that talks about how comfortable you are with your budget and purchasing. As a real estate agent, I don't necessarily speak to people about their personal finances. My lender does that because he's having the real conversations. Let's go to number two. Number two is you're looking for something that's very rare or could be considered a unicorn. All right. And so the interesting thing about that is that you're looking for a home that perhaps has a different design, aesthetic that is not in the area that you're looking for, or it's a neighborhood that's filled with 3-bedroom, 2 baths, and you want the 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home in the particular neighborhood. And those homes are not just built in that area and may require a lot more square footage and space. And so it's super wise to identify what type of home you are looking for initially. So if you're looking for a Cape Cod or if you're looking for a ranch, it's very important to have that understanding starting off. Number three, using the listing agent to represent you. And this is rare, okay? Now, in the state of Kentucky, we do allow the listing agent to sell you the home. It is called dual agency. Now, more than likely, that person met the seller of the home first. That agent met the seller of the home first. What happens, that can potentially, and I say potentially, not always, be a conflict of interest. If that person represents both the seller and you, and that agent met the seller first, where do you think their loyalties can possibly lie? Now, there could be something as straightforward as a home that maybe need a repair, and it's more straightforward, and you're a cash buyer. I've seen that done all the time. In most cases, though, using an agent that is representing the seller doesn't necessarily benefit you as the buyer. What you want is an agent that represents your best interest. The next mistake, number 4, we look too much into the home's online value estimation. All right? And there is a company that provides an estimate, and there are several companies that make assumptions about property values in a particular area or a particular home. So when you're on sites like Realtor.com or Zillow or other sites, you may look at a property valuation and think, oh wow, the property is at one price point, my estimate or what I think it's worth is this price point, and it may be lower or higher, and you like the lower price. So I'm going to go ahead and offer the lower price based on an estimate that's online. And what my suggestion would be is to seriously speak with a licensed real estate professional to help you understand property values in the area in which you're searching or specific homes. We call them comps. What I do is I look at all the homes that are within a quarter-mile radius, and the comps that I run for my clients, I can go toe-to-toe with an appraiser if necessary. So it's so important for you to hire a licensed real estate professional. All right, we're going to go on to number 5. And expecting housing prices to increase significantly in value. Now, you can do that, and that's perfectly fine because home prices have been rising on average 5, even higher than 5% every year. Yet, the mistake is in purchasing a home and speculating about property values in the future. I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't tell you what property values are going to do 3 years from now, no less 20. However, we have enough historical data to talk about how homes have been rising anywhere from 4 to 6% in any given year over the last 15 to 20 years. And so it is super important for you to understand that real estate will appreciate in value if it's properly taken care of, yet speculative buying is not helpful at all. And next is number 6, underestimating your monthly expenses. This is a big one because if you look at your 1,000 square foot place that you live in, it may be an apartment and you're buying your first home, and your first home is 15 to 2,000 square feet. In some cases, you might be almost doubling, depending on the place you live. You may be, 1.5 or even 2 times what you're paying now in utility cost, and sometimes even higher based on where you're moving and other factors that apply to you. One of the things that I like to do is I like to mention to my buyers that they have 4 elements to their mortgage they have to pay. It is PITI. Remember that. PI is the price or the payment that you're doing, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance. That makes up your mortgage. That is one thing that you have to realize, and then there are other expenses to consider. You have utilities, you have other type of HOA costs, the cost to live in your area, and you're taking in other things. You may have other amenities that you're going to be paying for, whether you're going to cut the grass yourself or whether you're yard work or other types of things you're doing around your home. Underestimating that can be very painful to your budget. All right, let's go to number 7. Feeling rushed. And I really want to stress this, okay? So let's really look at this and being 100% real here, is that I want to make sure that, and a real estate professional wants to make sure that when you are ready, you are indeed ready. Now, the market is not waiting for buyers right now. Sellers are in control in this market in 2022. Sellers have some control right now. At the same time, when you are ready, you are indeed ready. And that's a conversation between you, maybe your partner, and also a licensed mortgage officer or someone that can help talk through the financial aspects. And then when you are ready. So don't let the market, don't let anything rush you along in the process. It's so important for you to determine when you are indeed ready. Now, there is a caveat to that's a whole nother video. Yet, I don't want you to feel rushed, and don't feel rushed. All right, next point is exactly the opposite of that. Point 8 is lack of urgency when ready. One of the things that when you are ready, I want to make sure that, when you are ready, that you have a full understanding of what you're getting yourself into. In some cases, you may find a home that someone else likes. And if someone else likes that home and puts in an offer at the very same time that you put in the offer for the home, you are now in a multiple offer situation. Now that seller has two people to pick from, and they're going to look at someone to pay perhaps over the asking price of the home once that happens. And it happens more often than not right now in this particular market. So there is a bit of urgency when you are ready, and this market is filled with less motivated sellers and more motivated buyers. So I will match your motivation when it comes to the purchasing process. And so it's so important to understand that we must have a sense of urgency, and that as a buyer, we must be a little bit more intentional about the process and about what type of home we want and going after that particular home. Because the winners of the multiple offers are individuals that are a lot more motivated. All right, now let's go to number 9, which is one of the mistakes that can possibly be made, and that is falling in love with the perfect house. And I put that in quotations because I'm a real estate agent that, and I want you to hear me clearly here, I'm a real estate agent that really, I want you to live in the best and most amazing house. Yet, I also would like us to do our due diligence. And that's part of getting inspections. And that's plural. So we get a primary inspection that is in lieu of an expert, which means that we're not going to pay a separate electrician, a separate plumber, a separate roofer. We're going to get a licensed inspector to take a look at it for a cheaper price. And I have very thorough inspectors, and they're going to write a legible report so that we can have a full understanding of what we are getting ourselves into. So many times we look at the perfect house and then we find that there are problems with it. And there's no house is indeed perfect. Even new homes, new construction, I still recommend inspections from outside third parties that are not tied to the outcome. And so when you get a person who is a inspector that we're able to look at the house and see that if there are some issues, then we can have a clear-eyed view of what you are purchasing. And so no home is perfect, yet we can find the best property for you. And last but not least, and thank you so much for hanging out with me all this time, is that the last mistake that we can ever make, and this is really key here, the last mistake that we can make is buying a home to impress somebody, or buying a home to keep up with the Joneses. So many times I can speak with buyers, and and we want to buy something that's impressive, because this is the largest purchase that we've ever made in our lives, and so we want to have something that impresses ourselves, and we also want to impress our family and friends. And truly, look at your house as houses are not always purchased; they are made, they are built. And I don't mean construction; I mean built by what you make into the home, what you put into the home yourself. And the energy and the love and all of and the family or the partners that come together to make a home and what you come into. And so it's so important that, whatever makes you comfortable, if it's a location, if it's the condition, the style, if it's a particular area, it's you. I tell my clients all the time, did you like the drive-in? Did you like the drive here? Because this is the drive that you're going to make every day. Did you like the, what do you see around you? Do you like the amenities, or, is it closer to your favorite store? Is it close to your job? Is it close to where you live, work, and play? Or what's important to you? And a lot of what's important to you is not necessarily impressing other people. So those are the 10 mistakes that I think first-time home buyers can possibly make. So my question for you is, did I leave anything off the list? Is there anything that, that you would suggest as a first-time home buyer? I know I could have gone on with about 10 more points, and I might even do a separate video. So just kind of let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next video.